The word NFT stands for non-fungible token, which is a terrible word. I mean, non-fungible isn't the best word at all. Simply put, you have fungible assets and non-fungible assets. The way that I've heard it described the best is when you use a dollar bill. So if me and you've got a $10 bill in our pocket, we both put them on the table, it wouldn't matter which one we took off the table because they're a fungible asset. They're not unique, but they still have the same value. A non-fungible asset would be if me and you were stood there and we both had the same car key. Let's just say we both had a BMW, we both put our BMW keys on the table. It would actually make a huge difference if I took your key or you took my key. You know, I'd be sat in the car with all your kids and you'd be sat in the car with my kid. It wouldn't necessarily work. So that's known as a non-fungible asset. So a non-fungible token is really something that is unique, that can be turned into a token, put onto the blockchain, and then transferred through the blockchain, sold. The ownership is taken from one person to the other. This has been seen in pieces of art, in photos, all kinds of things have started to come to market.
Yeah, what are some examples? So those, I think probably most people have seen that. You've seen, different pieces of art or different pieces of photos. What are other examples of NFT projects that you're, or maybe like, is there like a bleeding edge of types of things people are turning into projects?
Well, I think because the technology is really so new and it always takes a bit of a sonic boom for people to stand up and listen. Probably read about an artist called Beeple selling a JPEG for $69 million. And I know in the green room, the girls were just laughing about selling pieces of paper with a red line in it for $1,000 or whatever. So when you've got an industry such as NFTs and you have an artist like Beeple that comes to the market, everybody associates the technology with this one asset. But NFTs is really the compression of transfer of ownership. And the way that I try and explain it is to go back in time to when the JPEG and the MP3 came to market. So 23, 24 years ago, we had the introduction of a JPEG. JPEG stands for Joint Photographic Expert Group. It was a group of people from Mitsubishi, Canon, Sony that came together to work on the technology of taking a physical photo and compressing it into a digital photo that meant it could be transferred and sent about. We saw the same happen with an MP3. And all that has meant is that if I want to send a picture to you now, I can just open up WhatsApp, iMessage, and just send the JPEG. We don't refer now to it as a JPEG. So the extension .jpeg and .mp3 have been around for so long that they're now quite common and people don't really think about them. NFT is the compression of ownership. So if, for example, if I want to sell my house to you, I currently have to go through a lot of hoops. I have to get a lot of legal documents, bring a lot of lawyers, get a lot of people involved. But if we were to turn your title deed into an NFT, what that actually means is that we have an underlying smart contract that's associated with the title deed. It gets wrapped and minted, which means that it gets tokenized and it becomes compatible onto the blockchain. I can then send that title deed to you and you can send it to me. And because you've got the ledger on the blockchain and the history of what's going on the blockchain, you're able to have a trackable and traceable way of actually what's going on with that asset. So it's still very new. There's still a lot of learnings, but I believe that the extension of a .nft, anything from tickets, if you're buying tickets for the Warriors, or I'm buying tickets for Premier League clubs, they go through a transfer of ownership from the club to you. Well, that's done through email, that's done through text message, done through QR code, but there's no real record of who's had those tickets and what the journey has been. So if people send them to you as an NFT, you've got that history on the blockchain of those tickets.
So the blockchain part of the NFT is it the history? It's the the tracking of it over time. Is that why the blockchain, why not just send or is that what authenticates it? Is the fact that it's on the blockchain, then somebody can't recreate it or copy it and just sell it again? How is the blockchain so important?
Yeah, so the blockchain has been around for a while now, and we associated mainly with Bitcoin and Ethereum and cryptocurrencies. And blockchain technology is really a decentralized network. It just means that you've got, rather than a server in one area, you've got lots of servers distributed around the world, and not one person is in control. Not one person has the keys to the server room. It's all done through proof of ownership and proof of stake, depending on the blockchain that you're on. And these computers go and check these algorithms to see whether or not what this person is saying is true. If enough of the majority say it is, then it gets added to the blockchain. So the blockchain technology is really a transportation system from A to B that's very secure. On the blockchain, you can put cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and a few others. An NFT is when it's been an asset that's been tokenized and wrapped, so it becomes compatible, that you can then send down the blockchain. So if you say, I want to tokenize a photo, you then say in the smart contract what the photo's of, when it was taken, the size, the resolution, who has the copyright, who has the ownership, and then you put that into the smart contract, you wrap it into this token, or what's called minted, and then you then send it across to the other person. It ends up in their blockchain wallet. Nobody has access to that wallet other than you, and it's super secure. So it's a very safe way of transferring assets.
Talk to me about minting. What is minting exactly?
So the term minting is really what's used for when you take an asset, apply a smart contract to it, and wrap it in a token. So I think the term comes from when you used to mint coins. You know, like in the UK, you have the Royal Mint, where they make the coins that get put into the distribution, the pounds, the 50p's, the 20p's. So I believe the term comes from that. So you actually mint an asset, put a smart contract against it, wrap it into an NFT, and that process is called minting.
Okay.
I love how blank your face looks. I
mean, I'm just going with this here. This is going somewhere eventually. But I'm just doing my research right now, sort of live here with you in front of this group of people. So let's talk about gas fees. What are the gas fees?
So a gas fee is the amount it costs, and really the imagine it that, let's just say, for example, you want to transfer dollars into pounds in a currency exchange house. You have to pay a fee for that dollar to become a pound. A gas fee is the amount it costs to send that asset over the blockchain. So if I wanted to send an asset from me to you, then I would have to pay a fee. It's called a gas fee. And these fees can fluctuate quite heavily. They can be really high, they can be really low, depending on the congestion. Imagine it as like a highway on I don't know, the 101, and you want to go down it and it's full. It's going to cost you a lot more to get things down there than if it was open. So when it's really busy, after the Beeple sale, congestion was high and gas fees were really high. Now it's calmed down a little bit. The gas fees are quite low.
And the gas fees just go to the third-party providers that create the contract or that wrap it and then send it. Is that right?
No. So the gas fees are really. So if you imagine, let's take a scenario. I am selling a photograph. Take a screenshot of this of me and you, and I'm going to sell it back to you. Let's just run with me on this. So take a picture.
We could do that on Cheeze, right? I mean, we could do that
on Cheeze. Yeah, I'm not sure how much we'd get for it.
A lot. This photo? Are you kidding?
Yeah.
With you super tan and me super pasty.
Like, hey, listen, this is my settings. I'm not this tan. I'm more brown than you, but anyway. So with this scenario, take a picture, and I want to then turn it into an NFT. And I want to send it to you, and there's a gas fee of, say, $20. That gas fee is split and paid to the people and the nodes, if you like, that have approved that and said that that is a true smart contract. This person is this person, and this person is this person, has basically verified that transaction.
Yeah.
That's what the gas fees go to.
It makes sense. Well, that part of it does. Okay, so so like I buy an NFT, I buy like one of these assets, and then like what do I do with it? Like, do I put it on do I like put it on a thumb drive and then like display it on my wall, like on a monitor, or like what do I do?
I think,
What are people doing with this stuff? I mean, you see them as like the Twitter icons sometimes, like
yeah,
those little like the little characters. What are they called? What are those things called?
the crypto punks.
Yeah, the crypto punks. Yeah, exactly. So you see those. So like all the cool kids
Jay-Z
have
just
those.
bought one. Did you see? He's just bought one.
No, for how much?
I'm not sure how much he paid for it, but he's just updated his profile picture.
Couldn't
to
have been cheap.
No, so I think that I spoke to somebody earlier today actually about this, and we got hung up on an NFT being an image or an NFT being a piece of art or something like that. But an NFT is really a proof of ownership. So think about, say, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, designer brands. If you go, which I'm not sure you've done in a while, go to the Louis Vuitton store and buy yourself a handbag, right?
Been a while.
You're going to drop some, I don't know how much a bag is, let's say $3,000.
I think you do know. But yeah, go ahead.
That's a secret. I don't want to get my bag collection out. No, so you go to Louis Vuitton, or as one of my friends calls it, Louis Vuitton. So you go to Louis Vuitton and you purchase a handbag, right? You need to get given some ownership proof that this bag is legit and real. So you need to have something. Now, it's just a piece of paper at the moment. And if you lose that, then you can't really prove that this bag is real. So imagine if you go to Louis Vuitton and you purchase a bag, and they then transfer you an NFT that states Derek Andersen is now the owner of this Louis Vuitton handbag. This is how much he paid for it on this day, from this store, at this time, for this amount. And they then send you this NFT. That now gets transferred across the blockchain, and we can see publicly on the ledger that the original owner of this bag was Louis Vuitton. So then if you go to sell it, you can then prove to the buyer, actually, this is a legit handbag that was bought from Louis Vuitton. Now, the counterfeit market is a $1 billion market that has been hard to overcome. So that's one area where people say it can happen. And then the other example that I gave earlier was, imagine you want to buy a Tesla, right? So,
I do.
Right, okay. So let's say, what would you get? A Model X, Model Y?
Plaid.
The one with the wings?
I'll take the one with the wings, sure.
Okay, so we're going to go and what's that, Model X, I think. So you go and buy a Model X from on the secondhand market, right? And you want to buy this. Two cars exactly the same, both black, both fully loaded, both looking absolute weapons. And you're like, right, I'm gonna buy these.
I like where this is going.
Now, you then imagine that these cars have been bought and sold using NFTs. You see that car A, through the history, was originally owned by Elon Musk, right?
Okay.
These are exactly the same cars, no different specs. Car B is owned by John in Redwood City. So
I like Redwood City actually, so that's not so bad.
But John, yeah, okay, you might like John, but let's just roll with this story, right? So the thing is that because Elon Musk has owned that Tesla, there's a high possibility that that car is going to be worth more than John's car from Redwood City, and they're the same cars. Now, because you can prove that ownership, that is where the value comes in, because you can legitimately say, look, on the blockchain, Elon Musk had this car. I now got this car. So that's where it kind of is useful, is the ownership. And then when you start to apply it to images like this Beeple collection, the reason why I think that it went for so much and people were quite hyped about it is that he's been around for a long time. Like, he's an artist that's been around for many years and has got a really big community and following. So when people saw the opportunity to buy this, and the people that bought it, have been buying Bitcoin for the last 7 or 8 years, they've made a ton of money. But because it's digital, for them, it's kind of like game currency. So for them to purchase something that is, I don't know, $1 million, and they've got 50 million sitting in their Bitcoin wallet, it's not really much, because they spend a lot of their time in the virtual world. So
Right.
for them to display this on maybe in their games, maybe they've got these digital picture frames on their walls, or whatever it was, something like that.
So can I just go back to this Elon Musk Tesla scenario? Isn't so like this idea that like that because you can track the ownership and that intangibly makes something more valuable, like isn't a big part of the blockchain like that it's all anonymous and that like you don't know who's doing what, and so there's like this underlying layer of like anonymity to things that are happening there? Is that different with NFTs, or am I misunderstanding that?
No, I mean it's very true. I mean the people who have the wallet addresses, but
Yeah.
there are cases where you can actually identify them, and I think it's more beneficial to identify them. Like if it's becoming now in the collectible world
Yeah.
more beneficial to know who the owner of something was. So what you see in platforms like Nifty Gateway, Maker's Place, it gives you the wallet address, but actually gives you the user person's handle too, to see who was the buyer, what the journey of that has been. Now like Jay-Z's bought this CryptoPunk, if he goes and sells it on, I'm guessing it will probably be worth more. Imagine if you bought a pair of Nike Air Jordans that Michael Jordan owned.
Yeah, I would like those.
But again, like there could be exactly the same pair, but because he wore them, they've gone up in value. Like this
Yes.
kind of this collectible market and this history of journey of that item is quite interesting. And now an NFT lets you follow that.
Okay, you're doing a good job here. I'm getting more interested as we continue to go on. We only have 10 minutes left, which isn't enough time for everything that I'd like to now talk to you about.
Sorry, I talk a lot. I apologize.
I like it. I know you're very convincing. This is why one of the reasons why I like spending time with you, because you're smart. You know what you're talking about. And in this case, in some ways, I've thought you're a little crazy, but I'm starting to understand your perspective a little better. How in the world did you get into this? And tell us about what Cheeze, which is the company that you're the startup that you're working on. Like tell us how Cheeze fits into this whole thing.
Yeah, so the quick 101 story is, as you know, we launched the company a couple of years ago. Actually, we were with you guys at Startup Grind, and that started out as a community chat application called Privy. It's still in existence now. We've got a healthy number of users. But during last year, we saw that there was a lot of conversations and communities being created around NFTs. And just thought, well, we've got a chat product. Growing this product in the current marketplace is going to be quite difficult because everybody was jumping on the chat application wagon. Me and you've had conversations over the years about how this market can get quite flooded quite quickly. So we decided to try and differentiate ourselves, and because we've got the technology, we've got the understanding. The name Cheeze is, say cheese is a very common word used when you take a photo. We saw an opportunity with NFTs. I then reached out to a couple of people. We partnered, actually spoke to Dapper Labs, and they ended up investing in the company as well. So we decided that this was an area that was really ripe with opportunity. And for the last 5 months, I've been building a product. And in the next month, we'll be launching the first mobile app on the Flow blockchain for photographers and brands. So the goal is, as easy it is for you to put a post or a story on Instagram, you should be able to mint and sell a picture on Cheeze. And that's the goal. So
if I'm a photographer and I want to sell my photos as NFTs, then
yeah,
I could use Cheeze to do that.
Basically, yeah. So the problem that you've got with Instagram is that the moment that you upload that image, you hand over all rights to Instagram. They then use that image as a hook for others. An account you might be interested in, a post that might be popular. They're using your pictures as leverage for them to get more users. But with Cheeze, when you put it onto the product, you then actually keep the ownership, and you can then sell that as an NFT. So it's that's the idea. As a photographer, as a brand, we've got some brands we've partnered with that using this as a new vertical for product launches, whether it be clothes, movies, albums, photographers, individuals. I'm going to put this picture of me and you on Cheeze, and and we'll split the profits.
Well, somebody, Serge said, you know, I could put all my kids' artwork onto onto Cheeze, and I could start making money off my kids, kids' art.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, make sure you give it to the kids though.
Well, I mean, do I really have to? I mean, that's part. It's been given to me, so technically, don't I own it?
I actually think that these are all your pieces of work. When I'm gonna
tear my wall down a little bit because I'm gonna start to try. I'm gonna get the pre-order going, and I'd like to. What are you gonna These are gonna be available on Cheeze. We are going to mint. Am I saying this right? We're gonna mint these.
Keep going. You're getting there.
We're gonna freaking mint this stuff. And then we're gonna make these available. First of all, the Chunky Donkeys. This is by Andersen, and then this one. This is kind of a Van Gogh inspired kind of thing, and I think we're going to. This one's probably more, right? I mean, this one you see watercolors and such.
Yeah, that's cool. I like that.
I mean,
I actually need to get one. I went painting the other day for the first time, and it was. There was an artist that you had to paint and copy them. So I've got one as well. So, you know, maybe we'll put them online. I mean, your kids can have a section and mint some photos.
That'd be huge. Yeah, it's like the new lemonade stand. You just draw pictures. Actually, this is true story. Yesterday, my daughter wants me to buy this thing for her, and it's like $20. And she came to me and she's like, "Hey, I need to get this thing." And I'm like, "Well, I can give you some work to do." She's like, "Well, could I draw 200 pictures for you to get this thing?" I don't know where she came up with that number. But I was like, 200 pictures, like for my wall, you know, so I can like keep building the wall. But if I can get her to just like, if I get a little factory, I'll just mint all of them and make a mint.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. This is where, you know, it's surprising. If you think about when platforms like Instagram came out, they didn't ever really, I imagine, expect that you would have a whole influencer marketplace around people posting stories. Now, you know, you could have, how old's your daughter now? What's she, 4?
7? 3? Well, I have a 4-year-old too, but yeah, 7's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, so the oldest one is now in a position where, you know, you could actually get her an account. She can create images, mint them, sell them. They could come into your bank account and you keep the money. Done.
Gosh, so great. I think I'm getting it. I think I'm really getting it quickly. What I feel like, this is the other thing I feel like with NFTs. I feel like, you know, this Beeple one or some of these, what are they called? Are they called CryptoPunks?
CryptoPunks. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I feel like people are just buying these to kind of just hype the whole thing up. Do you sense this? Like some of the sales are just like aimed at just like creating it's just like marketing. And these people they're buying things. I don't even know if they're keeping the money or if they're giving the money back or whatever, but like, does it feel like some of it is just like, just trying to build hype towards like, so eventually it feels like it's something that, you know, it's like, it's a thing.
I think that, again, the beauty of the blockchain is all transactions are traceable. I mean, you know, obviously
that's a good point.
Offline or through Venmo or whatever, but I think that, you know, with like a CryptoPunk, they release 10,000 and that's it. There's no more available. And because people do buy them and they get value, it's a bit like paintings. And if you do get a Van Gogh or a Rankin or a Monet or Mona Lisa or some amazing piece of art, it becomes like, if you own a Picasso painting, the dude's no longer around to paint anymore. So, you know,
RIP.
Exactly. Like, you've got a limited time of how many paintings that he's created. So they become really valuable.
Right.
Especially, you know, and I think that if you look at, you know, kind of like Nike Air Jordan as an example, look how costly the retro ones are compared to the new ones.
I don't like how you keep comparing it to things that make a lot of sense. So like you kind of, when you compare to things that I get, it makes the NFTs make more sense, which then makes me
feel like, the handbag, and you didn't really seem to jump.
Well, when you called him Lewis, I had a hard time concentrating after you referred to him as Lewis. It's like it sounded. Louis Vuitton sounds like a guy that I went to like elementary school with. So it kind of threw it off for me.
Tony Hilfiger, I think's his mate.
Tony Hilfiger.
George Armani. But yeah, but I think sneakers is your bag. Well, I know it is. I mean, I know the love that you've got for Jordan. So again, the older ones are worth more. So if you can prove the ownership and if you've got a pair that Jordan owned, and this is the thing too, is you're not going to carry your Jordans around with you, are you? You're not going to like walk into the coffee shop and be like, hey, look at my collection of Jordans. So now you can pull up a digital version, say on Cheeze, and go, hey, look at my collection. And because it's an NFT, people know that this is legit. You're not just looking on Google Images. You've got a wallet. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
Cool. I know we're starting to wrap up, but tell us again, just how can I sign up for Cheeze, and why would I do that? Why would or who should I encourage to do that? Well, I already signed up, so you don't need to convince me. I'm in. I'm all in on Cheeze.
So head over to cheeze.com, sign up. We're going to be rolling out the first application on Android and iOS in the next couple of weeks. We've got some pretty big people we're working with, some film houses, some good brands, some artists that are going to be dropping their assets onto Cheeze when we roll it out. Sign up, get involved. You're not going to be able to mint any images until September, but you'll be able to get a feel for the app, create your account on Flow, and just really get an understanding of this space. So if
I have photographers, or I have people that like have things that they could mint, that I should encourage them to use Cheeze as a way to like get in to NFTs, get started, and start making money in this way.
Yeah, if you've got anybody that you know that's just a really kind of lover of photography, takes amazing pictures, might have a really lovely Instagram account of nice pictures, they should definitely sign up to Cheeze, create an account. We have an original partner program for people who are of kind of like a professional level, or brands that we've got people who are joining. So yeah, if you're a professional photographer, then just head over to cheeze.com and look for the originals tab. And for everybody else, just sign up, get your username, and download it next week or two. And follow us on Cheeze as well. We're at Cheeze. Follow us on Twitter. We're at Cheeze everywhere.
Okay, Simon, I gotta just tell you, of all the times I've heard NFTs explained, I honestly this was the most simple way to understand it. So
for your kids as well, we've got new revenue.
I don't know why you keep bringing them in. Like it's mine. Like I'm the physical owner. I'm gonna be the digital owner. These were given to me. I'm not sharing. I know that's the other thing with NFTs, right? Like the artists, and a lot of times like they get cuts all along the way, right? Like you sell it, and then when you sell to somebody else, the artist still gets a cut, which is really cool.
Royalty,
but I'm not. Yeah, royalty. Yeah. Am I understanding that right?
Yeah. So again, that's something we didn't touch upon. But basically, if you're the original minter, let's say the creator, you sell it to buyer one. Then if buyer one sells it to buyer two, you can state in the smart contract what the royalty will be. So this is why Beeple, when he drops his images, sells them for $1. Man, these are cool.
It's just the awareness. I'm trying to build the hype, because like this day one, these drop on Cheeze, right? September 1.
Yeah, we can do that. We can definitely do that. I think we might need to bring Erica into the picture so she knows what's going on.
My wife. My wife and I are 50-50. Like we're good. We're good there. I have no issues with that. No, we don't need to.
She's watching. Text me.
Yeah, she's for sure watching this. She loves when I do interviews, and she just really wants to see more of them. So, yeah, Simon, thank you for being here. Thank you for dealing with
thank you for having me.
Nonsense.
Sorry, I looked orange.
Cheeze, spell the domain for us so everybody knows.
CHEEZE.com.
Cheeze.com. Go sign up now. You can get on the beta list and get signed up, and then September 1st, it's gonna officially go live, and you can start selling and buying these NFTs. Thank you so much.